this is a pickup bar, so we're calling it bar 0. You can see that over here in the bar numbers, bar 0, there it is. And then the counting 1, 2, 3, 4 Anna, because we actually start on beat 4 with this triplet. So we count it 1, 2, 3, 4 Anna. So we're counting in fours. Just reminds us here that the main row is 2, and over here we've got the reminder of what key we're in, and that business about the up one and down one. We'll talk about that as we get into the tune. So what we're actually going to play are these 3 notes here, and it's a quaver triplet. So what do I mean by -1A in this square? Well, if you look at this cell, it's underneath the 8. So on this Jeffries instrument, Jeffries layout instrument, it's button 8 on the accidental row, this button here. And because it's a number 1, it's finger 1. And because it's a minus sign, that means a pull on my music, on my tablature. So it's this note here. Now, if you have a Wheatstone layout, you'll find that note on the button above. I won't play it because it will be wrong. It will be on button 7. But on this Jeffries, it's on button 8 on the pull. So first note is finger 1, button 8, accidental row, pull. And that comes in on beat 4. And then we go to the main row, row number 2, and we go to button 9, which on this instrument is the 1 end button. It's finger 3, also pull, and then we go further down that row, still on row 2, button 10, finger 4, pull. So your first 3 notes sound like this. So it's 1, 2, 3. So if I play that next bit like I did then, you can get the sense of it. Do that again. So, like I say, this is bar 0. It doesn't count as the first bar, it's just a little pickup bar to lead us into the main body of the tune. So in that bar there's nothing on the left hand side, you can see this is completely blank over here. All the notes are on the right hand side. And like I say, if you have a Wheatstone layout, this first note will be on button 7, and I've got special tablature for that, so make sure that you download all the sheets and print them out. And obviously if you've got a Wheatstone, make sure you print that one out. Good, so we're off to a start. Let's look at our first main bar here. And we can see the little bit of the pickup bar, the bit we need, and the whole of that first bar. Okay, in bar number 1, here is the number 1, so you know this is bar number 1. We can see the counting is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it's basically crotchet, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quavers. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. That's the way we count it. Let's look at the tune over here. By the way, it says A part. This is where the A part of the tune starts properly. And these 2 dots, thin line, thick line, I'm sure you'll recognise those as a repeat sign, but kind of up the other way. Because on my tablature, we work downwards, okay? So let's have a look at what we're actually going to play here. So all on the right hand side of the tune in this bar. Now from our little pickup section, let's play that pickup bar and the next note. Now you'll see the first note of bar 1 is button 9, row 2, finger 3. There's no minus sign, so it's a push. So it's the same button we played in our triplet, but pushing instead of pulling. Okay, so that gets you off to the start, but then straight away you see up 1. So what that means is you're going to move this position up 1. So if you like, your opening position on that row 2 is on buttons 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to move up to 6, 7, 8, 9. So that the third finger now is on button 8, just to the right of where it says up 1, and that is also a push. Just to remind you, if there's a minus sign, it's a pull of the bellows. And if you don't see a minus sign, it's a push. So this note is here, button 8, finger 3, push. And then the next note is the same button but pulled, same finger obviously. And then carrying on into the first bar, you've got button 7, finger 2, push, button 6, finger 1, push, then back to button 7, finger 2, push, and back to button 8, finger 3, push. So the whole bar sounds like this, right hand. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice how your third finger moves up as soon as you play the first note, and notice also when you do this, you play those 2 notes on the same button. Notice how I only press once. On my melodeon music I call this a dagger note because I put a little dagger symbol on the music. I don't know why, that was the best symbol I could find, but that's what I call a dagger note, okay? So there, it's only one press of the button. So from the pickup bar and into that bar 1, just the right hand side. Let's look at the left hand side for bar number 1. You can see that you're on button number 1, underneath button number 1, which is down here, all the way down here, okay? The whole of the left hand side in this bar is on row number 2, okay, the middle row of this 30 button instrument. Incidentally, you can't play this tune if you've got a 20 button, it's only for 30 button. And of course, if you've got more than 30 buttons, you can play it, but you just have to ignore the extra buttons you find on the ends of the rows. Just pretend you haven't got those. There's absolutely no point in me trying to cater for instruments with more than 30 buttons because there's so many different tunings, so many varieties. So this is what I do, I sort of stick to 30 buttons or 20 buttons. So what have we got here? We've got the classic pa. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on beat 1, you've got button 1, little finger, finger 4. It's all push, no minor signs. And then when you get to beat 2, you're on buttons 3 and 4. Okay, fingers 2 and 1, and they're played together. You can see they're on the same line here on 2. First bit sounds like this. Now you might find that that first note you need to push a bit harder because it's a fairly low note. If you're playing a low pitched instrument like a GD, that will need a little bit of effort to make it fire. So there's your pa. And on beats 3 and 4, you simply do the same again. Okay? So you've got pa. So most of bar 1 is on the push, so make sure you pull your bellows out a bit before you start. So let's link the right and the left hands together, and you can see where they are played simultaneously. Just look across the counting row here. It's not that hard to understand. So let's just play that first bar. Okay, here we go. And let's add that pickup bar to it.